What's going on, guys, and welcome back to part 10 of building a Netflix app from scratch using Swift 5 and UIKit. In this part, we're going to complete our search functionality, so without further ado, let's just dive in. So let me just fire up Xcode over here, and first of all, I'm just going to create a new file. This is going to be a new view controller of type Cocoa Touch class, and let me call that search results. And basically, that is going to be the controller responsible for viewing the data that we're going to retrieve from the database server once we completed our query. So let me just delete all of that. We're not going to need that. And also I'm just going to give that a new background color so that we can verify that is working. So let me just choose maybe system green. And as you can see here, basically we are having multiple files. So I just wanted to rearrange my file hierarchy. So let me just go ahead and create a new group. I'm going to call that core. And I'm just going to add the home view controller, upcoming view controller, the search view, and the main tab bar, as well as the downloads view controller inside that core. All right. I'm going to create also a new group. So let me just call that maybe general. And inside that, I'm just going to add the new file that I've just created over here, basically the search results view controller. All right. So let me just go back to core search view controller, and over here I'm just going to start working on my search bar. So let me just type private let search controller. That is going to be of a type UI search controller with the same method, which is basically the anonymous closure. I'm just going to create a new controller over here. So basically UI search controller. And as you can see here, we can specify the search result controller. Basically, let's just type in here search results view controller, and I'm just going to get that and give that actually a new instance. Let me just go ahead and type controller, basically search bar dot placeholder, and here we can specify any message that we want to prompt the user. So let me just type something like search for a movie or a TV show. All right, maybe we can change that to be a capital. All right, and also I'm just going to add this line over here. So controller dot search bar style, and I'm just going to choose minimal. And as you can see here, basically you can just read what is the minimal. So basically the search bar has no background whatsoever, and the search field is translucent. So I'm just going to choose that, and I'm going to return the controller over here. Let me just go back to my view did load, and I'm just going to add that to my view. So basically, let me just type navigation item dot search controller, and I'm just going to pass that search controller that we've just made. All right, build and run, and let me see what we get so far. So as you can see here, we can go to the top search, and basically you can see here the search bar is ready. Search for a movie or a TV show. Basically, this is the placeholder that we specified earlier. And as you can see here, once I begin my scrolling, it basically fades out, or as you can see here, this effect is given you by default by Apple. Thanks, Apple. Basically, Apple is taking so much work out of our shoulders. So basically, once I start typing in here, as you can see here, the search controller is actually responsible for showing me the search results view controller that we have made in here. And basically this is going to be where we add our table view and our collections view for basically viewing the results that we're fetching from the database. And once I hit backspace or delete, and as you can see here, it by default disappears. So basically we're going to start working with the search view or the search results view controller over here, but first I just need to change that color. So let me just go back in here and type navigation controller dot navbar dot tint color, and I'm just going to set that by default to white. Let me build and run this, and let me see if that is working. So yes, as you can see here, the cancel button is just white right now, so we have consistency around our application. So let's go back to the search results view controller, and over here I'm just going to initialize basically a new collection view. So let me just type private let search results collection view. That is going to be a UI collection view. Let me initialize that. So basically let collection view is going to be equal to UI collection view, and I'm just going to initialize that with a 0 frame for now. And regarding the layout, let's just pass in here layout. So let me just go up in here, let me create that layout. So private let, or basically just let layout is going to be UI collection view flow layout. All right, so layout dot item size, maybe we can give that a size of CG size of maybe like something like 100 or 200 maybe. And now let me just register a new cell over here. So basically let's just try to reuse the title collection view cell that we have in here. So basically let me type title collection view cell dot self. All right, for the identifier, so basically let's just access that one more time, and basically I can find my identifier here, and over here let me just return back my collection view, and over here I'm just going to pass basically that collection view one more time. But first let me just type in here system background, and over here let me just type view dot add sub view collection view, or basically search results collection view. Over here I'm just going to lay out my functions. So basically collection view of the search results, basically the frame that is going to be equals to the view dot bounds. All right, so basically one more thing that we need to do actually, I'm just going to create over here, so private var titles, that is going to be an array of title, and let me initialize that array to be empty for now. All right, and over here we just don't need to miss that one more time. So basically search results collection view dot delegate, and that is going to be self search results view controller, or I'm sorry, search results collection view dot data source, and that is going to be self as well. Over here let me just type in here extensions search results view controller, let me just pass the delegates for here, so collection view delegate as well as the collection view data source. So basically number of section items in section, basically for now let me just type in here basically like something like 10. And here I'm just going to implement the other data source function, which is basically self for item. And let me just go ahead and type guard let cell. Let me dequeue a new cell over here. So dequeue with the reusable identifier. Let me just choose collection view cell, or basically what we have called it. So yeah, title collection view cell identifier for index path, that is going to be as title collection view cell, and else we're just going to return a normal UI collection view cell. Over here I can just specify something like a background color for it, and let me just return that cell one more time. And I kept thinking about it. Basically we are just designing for one screen size, so basically we can just make it just a little bit dynamic, so that basically you can just try it on multiple screens. And I found that this basically, so basically UI screen dot main dot bounds dot width, let's divide that by 3, and maybe we can subtract something around 5 or 10. Okay, and also I'm just going to type in here the minimum intermittent item spacing. I just need to set that so 0. I guess that will work. And let me just build and run, and let me see what do I get so far. Okay, top search. Let me just start by typing anything over here. So basically you can see here, these are the cells that are going to be responsible for getting back the titles that we're going to be searching for. All right. And over here, I believe we can test on another screen size. So maybe the iPhone 13 or 13 Pro, I believe. Yeah, I tested on that once. Let's just go to the search. Let me just try to type anything over here. And yes, we have basically the same dimensions across the normal and the Pro Max, or basically the Max device. Okay, all right, so let's go really quick to our API caller. And over here, we're just going to create a new function. So basically, we're going to type search with query, and that is going to be a type of string. And basically, we're just going to return the same signature over here. So let me just copy the whole thing over here. So let me just paste in here. So basically we have a search function that takes a query of type string. And basically we are just going to change that URL just right now. Just a second, let me just delete the URL because we are going to fetch a new URL. But basically the same things goes over here. Basically we are just going to pass the URL, make the request, serialize the request using JSON object that we have over here, and then pass in here on the completion an array of titles to the caller. So let me just go in here, and I have the developer's website for the movie database.org, and I just clicked on search and query for details. And basically this is going to be an example for the URL that we're going to basically send our get response or get request to. So let me just copy that. Let me just go back in here, let me create a new URL. So guardlet URL is going to be URL. That's going to be made of a string. And basically I'm just going to paste that in here. Also we can substitute that with the constant here that we have. So basically let me just type constants.base URL. And I believe, yeah, we need a / over here. And instead of API key, we're just going to assign the constant that we have for that. So constants.API key. And in here, basically, we are just going to pass in the query that we have. All right. So basically, our query is going to be here. But before passing the query, we just need to do something extra. But before this, let me just go back in here. All right, so before we send our query to the URL, we just need to format that query. So first of all, we are going to type guardlet query. That is going to be query dot adding % encoding. And basically, I'm just going to pass over here. So basically, URL host allow, all right, else return. And that basically takes care of formatting the URL so that we can use it without any error. All right, so basically we have everything set up over here. So all right, so let's just go back to my search controller over here, search view controller, and then we just need to configure the updater to be this controller. So basically let me just type search controller dot I believe it's going to be, yeah, search results updater, and that is going to be cell. So basically Xcode is just going to throw some errors over here. So basically we just need to import or conform to that protocol. So let me just copy that over here, and basically let me just go down in here, extension search view controller, and I'm just going to conform to that. And now I'm just going to implement one function over here, which is basically update search results. All right, so basically we just need to get the query from the search bar. So let me just type in here, let search bar, that's going to be equal to search controller dot search bar. And over here, I'm just going to write guard let query. That is going to be search bar dot text. And I just need to make sure that this text is okay to be sent first. So let me just type in here query dot trimming characters in white space. So basically each white space is going to be trimmed, and I'm just going to make sure that it is not empty, so I have to invert that. All right, any other thing, I'm just going to type in here the same thing. So basically query dot trimming in white space, and I'm just going to get the count, and I'm also going to make sure that the count is greater than or basically equals to 3. So basically we're just doing that to try to minimize the calls that we're going to make to the server as much as possible. So I don't just need to call the server or basically send anything to server if the search bar has maybe like 2 characters or so. All right, so also I just want to set the result controller. So basically let results controller, that's going to be equal to search controller dot search results controller as search results view controller, else I'm just going to return. So basically I'm just setting the results controller to be of type search results view controller. And over here, let me just go and write results controller dot delegate. Okay, just a second. And over here, I'm just going to call that function. So let me just type API caller dot share dot search, and that is going to take the query that we have over here. And for this, I'm just going to pass in the result. And over here, dispatch queue dot main dot async. And over here, we can switch on the results. So result, okay, case success. We have the reference to titles over here. So basically, I'm just going to get the results, or basically, let me just call that titles. So results controller dot, I believe we have to change that maybe to public, because we want to access that from the search view controller. So results controller dot titles, that is going to be equals to titles. Okay, and the results controller dot also we need to have access to the to collection view as well. So let me just go back in here. All right, so change that to public as well. So now we can access that. So let me just go back to our search view controller, and over here I'm just going to get the search results collection view. I'm just going to reload the data over here. And as you can see here, basically we didn't need to have like a weak self, because actually we're not using self over here. And now I just need to handle the failure. And okay, I'm just going to, you know, the usual, which is basically printing a localized description for the description, which is basically for going before the error. All right, so let me just go back in here, search results controller. Instead of having 10 elements by default, I'm just going to return the titles.count. And over here, I'm just going to delete that. I have made sure that this cell is working. Right now, I can just configure it to be working with the array that we have. So let me just get that over here. So let title is going to be of titles, okay, index path dot row, and over here I have the information accessible for each title. Okay, so basically cell dot configure, and it just take a string over here. This is going to be the poster path. So I can pass in here title dot poster path. Let me hit build and run, and let me see what do we get so far. Okay. And I believe that same error that we have, basically it's just an optional. So I'm just going to give a default of an empty string. Okay. Let me try to search for maybe Harry Potter. So Harry Butter, okay. And as you can see here, we have the search functionality is working. So basically that's it for this tutorial. So basically, if you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you have any questions, you can just leave them in the comment section down below. And also a subscription would be so much appreciated. So once again, please have a good day and stay safe.